Ciao, y'all. Today we're going to talk about stock and broth and what's the difference between them. We're also going to touch on bases and bouillons to sort of get the whole effect of what all these different flavoring options are. First, what's the difference between broth and stock? Because this is the big mystery that plagues the internet. And if you look this up, you're going to find a gazillion different answers, but the bottom line is seasoning, right? So broth is stock that has been seasoned and ready to eat. So if you buy a broth like this thing right here, that just means it's ready to eat. You can pour this into a pot, throw some meat and vegetables in it, in a few minutes have a soup, right? Whatever it is you want to do with it. It's salted, it's got other seasonings and spices in it. Look at the ingredients. Different brands have different stuff, so you may find one that you like better than another, but they're all options. So that's what a broth is. Stock is just the plain stuff. So here's what stock really is. You take bones from your meat, whatever you had. So if you had, pork chops with bones in them, or steaks, or like a beef roast, or chicken, and you can make stock out of fried chicken, out of baked chicken, roasted chicken. And now, of course, the traditional French method is that you would get something like a chicken or beef or whatever, and you would get the bones out first. Then you would roast the bones off in your oven, and along with your vegetables, your aromatics, and then you would make the stock from that. But for those of us who are making this stuff at home, and we're not trying to do a whole big elaborate French traditional stock, there's much easier ways to get it. It's not going to be the same thing, but it's going to be really good, and you're going to be very happy with it. So first, about the traditional French method. This is where you need a mirepoix and a bouquet garni and all these other fancy French things, which just means carrots and onions and some herbs wrapped up in a string. That's what we're talking about. But you don't have to do all that. You can go as far into this as you want to. And I'll put a link to a proper French stock in the description so you can go see how to make one. What I do at home is really simple. Let's say that I roasted a chicken, as an example. We got chicken stuff out here, but this applies to beef and pork and whatever else. Seafood, I do this with like shrimp shells and that sort of thing. But let's say I roasted a chicken. Now I've got my chicken, and we've eaten as much of the chicken as we're going to eat. So I shred the rest of the meat off. I'm going to use that for something else. And I've got all these bones, right? And I save all the bones. Now, what am I going to do with these bones? Well, I could pop them back in the oven and roast them a little bit more if I wanted to get more flavor out of them, but I don't have to. A lot of times I take them just like they are. I throw them in a crock pot. That's the way I like to do it, but there are lots of other ways. The traditional method is put it on a stock pot and let it simmer on the stove for hours. But with a crock pot, I don't have to keep an eye on it. So I put it in my crock pot, I turn on low, and I leave it overnight. And then what I do for aromatics is, instead of chopping up a bunch of carrots and onions and celery and stuff and trying to put it in the oven, I just keep a Ziploc bag. And every time I cook any kind of vegetables at home, I cut the ends off of them and I throw them in the bag. I typically do not put asparagus ends in that bag because they're so strong. I save those for an asparagus stock. But for every other kind of vegetable, pretty much, I throw the ends in there, and that includes tomatoes, zucchini, whatever, right? So I keep all those vegetable ends in a Ziploc bag in my freezer. So when I go to make stock, I throw those bones in the crock pot. I grab a fistful of those vegetable ends and throw them right into the pot as they are. I don't take time to roast them because they're going to be mushy from being frozen. I just throw them in the way they are. And then I just turn that thing on low and leave it overnight. And in the morning, I have a lovely, delicious stock. And you can strain out the vegetables and the bones. And here's the fun part. If you watch videos on making a stock by the traditional French method, they're always trying to skim the fat off of the top. I got an easy tip for that too. Stock isn't something you make in a hurry, so just understand it's going to take a while. So you cook that stock overnight in your crock pot, let that thing cool down while you're getting ready for work, and then on your way out the door, just pick up that whole crock pot and stick it in your refrigerator. By the time you get home from work, all of that fat will have risen to the top and chilled into just a flat disc that you can remove. And then a lot of the extra stuff that was in your stock, like little bits of herbs if you had them in there, or just kind of little pieces of the meat that might have floated up, a lot of those will get trapped in it. By the way, save that fat because that's useful for other stuff later, like if you're making a gravy or something. So just take your leftover bones from something that you cooked, throw them in a pot with leftover pieces of vegetables that you had chopped up earlier, and you can have a wonderful stock by the end of the next day. It's a fantastic, easy way to do it. If you don't want to make your own stock, though, you don't have to. I almost always make my own stock. I very rarely buy these. I went shopping this morning for all of this stuff, except for this. I always keep this on hand, and this. We'll talk about both of those in a second. So yeah, I guess I do buy the stuff. But I don't usually buy stock because I make stock. But I'm going to talk about these stocks that we have here, what the differences are between them, and between like This is from the grocery store. I'm going to tell, I know everybody likes to cover this stuff up and not tell you where the things are from. This is from the grocery store, Publix. If you have a Publix, this is a little bit cheaper than this, not a lot. These were on sale, buy one, get one free today though, so I got some. I will use this stuff eventually, but when I read the ingredients of these two stocks, they had the same ingredients, and this is what's truly important. When I would go through the store and I'd look at these fancy brands, right, like this, and I'd see the stocks, and I read the ingredients, and there's crazy stuff in here. There's stuff like yeast extract or whatever in here. What else in here? This has a bunch of spices, flavors. It's got carrots and stuff in it. That's not, well, carrots and stuff would be in stock. They're listing those, but this has all kinds of extra stuff in it that is not stock. Oh yeah, like honey. It's got honey in it. Why do I want sugar in my stock? That doesn't make any sense. So this is not really stock. This is soup, really. And by the way, you'll notice all three of these say unsalted. That's my one side tip. You should always buy unsalted stock if it's available in your store. You don't want stock in this. You want to be able to control your salt. You don't want salt in this. You want to be able to control your salt. And some of these are pretty salty. So buy unsalted. If they don't have unsalted, you can almost always find reduced sodium, which will be like half the salt. So that's still better. Okay, so these are stocks. These Swanson brand has always been my go-to because it's straight up stock. There's no additives in this. And so while Swanson is like the cheap brand and everybody knows that, you go past that a lot of times and look at the fancy stuff. This is what I go to if I have to buy a stock, I buy Swanson. But I discovered today inside of Publix that theirs is really, really good stuff also as far as the ingredients go. I haven't actually tasted it yet, but it should be good. Other grocery stores I go to, I've checked their store brands, and they're just like these fancy ones. They're full of all kinds of extra stuff, including sugars, which I don't want in here. So, do I buy the expensive stock or the cheap stock? I'm going to buy the cheap stock because it's straight up stock. So Swanson or the Publix brand are both good. But even if you, whatever grocery store you buy stuff in, if you want to buy the generic, just make sure you check those ingredients because it may have garbage in it, or it may not. It may be good, like Publix is good. So I'm not talking about any specific store. I don't know what store you shop at. Check the ingredients. That's stock. That's the basics on stock, okay? We're going to go into broth now. And what broth is stock that has been seasoned. So this I'm not going to buy unsalted because if I'm buying broth, I want something ready to eat. So it already has salt in it. I'm probably going to have to add more salt to whatever I'm cooking anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to be a ton, but this already has all kinds of fun ingredients in it. In fact, these are written smaller, so I can't see them as well. But it has, oh, this has the yeast extract in it. This has mirepoix, chicken stock, salt, natural flavorings of what I don't know. But it's got things in it that would be in your soup. So that's the difference between stock and broth, is that broth is already seasoned and ready to eat. So typically I wouldn't buy broth, I would buy stock or make stock, and then I would make it into broth based on what it is that I'm cooking with it. But it's perfectly okay to use this stuff. And a lot of recipes you see specifically call for broth so if the recipe was written for broth, broth is probably the right thing to use. So just keep that in mind. But you see some other fun products. This, I see a lot of folks on the internet cooking with this as if it's stock. This is absolutely not stock. I mean, it started with stock, but it's not. This is soup, okay? It's essentially the same thing as this with a couple of exceptions. This is really expensive, and you can't hear this, but this is like a chunk. This is like Jell-O. This is like a brick of Jell-O inside here. I will probably open this and get a still picture of it. But that's what this is, like a brick of Jell-O in here. That's because there's so much added collagen in it. All of these contain collagen because they're made from bones, but they also use like some other parts of the chicken in these, you know, like parts that would normally go to waste. They don't want to waste stuff. This is going to be made strictly from the bones and the connective tissue, so it's going to have tremendous amount of collagen in it, which is a wonderful mouthfeel, but this is also loaded with seasonings that make it taste delicious. I have not ever tried this. So I will try this, but this is the stuff that people heat up and put in a coffee mug and just drink it because it's supposedly so tasty. I wouldn't cook with this unless I'm making a soup or something where I want it already prepared. Don't use this in place of stock, okay? Stock is not salty. It is not flavorful. I mean, it's flavorful. It tastes like chicken, but it doesn't have spices or anything like that in it. This is soup, okay? So use this accordingly if you want to buy this stuff. Also, like I said, really expensive. If I used this where I would normally use stock, it's kind of a waste of money. So I would not do that. Okay, so that brings us to our other products that we have here. We have bouillon and soup base. Now, let's talk about these for a minute. These are both useful. This is the English side. Sorry, I'm showing you the Spanish side. This is ham base. This is ham bouillon. I prefer base to bouillon. I'm going to explain why, but here's what the difference is. And bouillon, a lot of times you see this is in little packets, and sometimes you see bouillon in cubes. In all the cases, it should be about a teaspoon, should be the size of it, right? So whether bouillon's in a cube or in a packet, it's basically the same thing. I'm going to talk about the cubes versus the packets first. The packets, the powder is loose. The cubes, it's hard. So what's nice about the powdered packets is if I want to use part of a packet or a packet and a half, it's easy to do. Also, it's easier to dissolve into whatever I'm cooking because it's a loose powder, where the cubes are hard and you have to break them up or you have to let them cook in something long enough to dissolve. They work exactly the same way. They taste exactly the same. So, you know, which one you go for is up to you, but that's just sort of my opinion on it. I bought, it's funny because I was at this grocery store today and I actually saw a thing of ham base, and I would have that if I had had access to it before, but it was a new Publix in town. So this is, I keep this is the only one of these two things I keep on hand all the time. I have bases, several different bases, and I have this ham bouillon. And when this runs out, I'm going to find ham base and get that instead, because I prefer base. Why do I keep this stuff on hand all the time? For when I need a little bit of something. When I don't need a whole bunch of stock, I'm not cooking something that's a stock heavy dish, but maybe I need a teaspoon or less. I don't even ever use a teaspoon. I actually have, my favorite thing is I have little Gerber baby spoons, and they used to be for my babies, but now they're for me. I use them for everything. I have a whole drawer full of these things, and they work so well for so many things. One of the things they work for is sometimes that's exactly how much of this stuff I want, and this is why I prefer base to bouillon, because the base, it's a paste and it's in this jar, so it's easy to just scoop a tiny bit out and use it, and it lasts for a really long time in the refrigerator. This lasts longer, of course, because it's a dry powder, but I have to use the packets. This is just however much that I feel like I need. So I can grab a little spoonful, it dissolves very quickly. That's why I prefer bases. They taste, again, they taste pretty much just like bouillon. There's not a noticeable difference in the flavor of them. Bouillon and bases are very salty, though. Keep that in mind. Again, you're using this when you just want a tiny little bit added to something. Very, very salty. So very different from these things. So again, going back through this, stocks, very simple, straightforward. Don't get the fancy stuff that has a lot of added ingredients to them. Get the ones that are very simple. If you have a Publix supermarket, this one was, I checked the prices as of today, this one was $2.99 and this one was $3.13. So the price difference is negligible, really. And then this was buy one, get one free. So I just went ahead and got a stock and a broth. But yeah, so if you have a Publix, their stock is perfectly good. If your grocery store stock isn't as simple, Swanson is available everywhere. So this is not a paid advertisement, Swanson, if you're open. Just kidding. Anyway, so, but no, I use that brand because it's simple and it works. And then broths like this bone broth, which is like heavy duty stuff, and I'm sure this is going to be really good. I don't usually have a use for it, but I'll find something because it was, you know, I understand this to be delicious, but I would never use that in place of regular stock. Same thing with this broth, but again, broth is good if you have a recipe that calls for broth. A lot of cookbooks and stuff will have recipes that call for broth. So stick with what the recipe calls for in that case. So there, I think that's the rundown. And then of course, bases and bouillons. So we went through what's the difference between stock and broth, what's the difference between base and bouillon, where does bone broth fit in along with these other items. And and now you know that when you're buying stocks, if you are buying them versus making them, that the less expensive ones tend to actually be the good ones, which is sort of what this is all about. So, and always remember that the most important ingredient is love.